Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to today's Feisty Friday. We missed an episode last week, and that's because I did not have one batched, and so classic. We just took a week off, but we are back, and I am excited to chat today. But before we get into it, I'm just going to preface this with I'm actually recording this in my living room, and my dogs are just chilling. They may or may not bark. Hopefully I can get through this without them barking, but just wanted to give a heads up. So today we are going to chat all about returning to running because I am doing a free masterclass on Tuesday the 12th that is focused on this topic of running. And the reason that I'm doing this is because the weather is getting warmer, and something common that I see is everyone wants to be outside, which we love and is amazing, and they want to go for a run. And what this can sometimes lead into is like ending up in pain because you're going from not running at all and not doing any volume to going and running, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like why does my knee hurt? Well, you haven't been running at all and you just ran 5 miles out of nowhere. So there's that. And then another reason that I'm doing this is because a lot of runners are in pain, and there are some missing pieces when it comes to feeling strong when you're running and making sure you're staying pain-free when you are running. So I figured this was a great topic to kind of dive into for the time of year and just to put out more education about this because there is not a lot out there about returning to running. And why this is so important is there's actually a big gap between okay, I hurt myself and I'm going to take a break from running. And then you rest, and then you try and go run. But what'd you do in between to prepare for that? And you're probably like, well, Ashley, I don't know what you mean by that. Why is that important? Well, it's important because when we are running, it's essentially hopping from one leg to the other. Studies have shown that each heel strike produces a force that is equal to 3 to 4 times your body weight with each heel strike. So that's a lot of pressure on the joints with every step. Imagine this. How many heel strikes do you think you get during a 30 to 60 minute run? Probably a lot. That's a lot of force on your joints. And if you're not prepared for that, you could end up in discomfort or nagging pain. Pain comes from doing things your body is not prepared for. So it's not that running is bad. We need to prepare our body to be able to run with no issue, be more resilient. And this requires a very specific approach. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk through some different examples of what I mean in terms of being able to prepare your body to run and feel good after. So my first example is going to be single leg hopping in different directions. So you're probably thinking oh my gosh, I would feel so stupid doing that. But think about it. You're hopping, and that is going to help prepare you for the force of running. And I don't just mean hopping in one place. Let's single leg hop forwards and backwards and lateral and go in different directions, because that is also going to make an impact on our body's preparation as well. So there's that. Number 2, single leg step ups. I bet you're not surprised that I mentioned step ups because I love them. But like truly making step ups a single leg exercise and building up the resilience on from one side to the other, that is going to help so much with overall leg strength. And so I figured I would throw that in here because like I know that some runners do cross train. So maybe you do like CrossFitting and you like to run. You may not be doing a lot of single leg work in your CrossFit stuff. So it's really important to include the single leg work in your cross training to support your runs, which is something that I think a lot of people don't think about, is like tailoring your strength training to make you a better and stronger runner. The next thing I'm going to mention is something called drop jumps. So basically drop jumps are where you start from the top of the box and you're jumping down off of the box and you're focusing on a really strong landing. Okay, so it's kind of like a reverse box jump almost. So you're starting on top of the box, you're landing, focusing on a really strong landing. That is part of working on like deceleration movements. So deceleration means slowing down. And that's something that we often don't train, but is really important in something like running or even like playing kickball or like going on a hike, hiking uphill, downhill, like that kind of thing. That's also going to be a factor. Another thing, something like broad jumps. And again, this is focusing on being explosive, like having a really strong landing, even going to like single leg broad jumps, things like that. The last thing I'm going to mention is adductor strength. And your adductors are muscles in your inner thighs. These are so underrated. They're underrated and they're overlooked when it comes to strength training and how important it is to have strong adductors, especially when we're talking about doing something like running. Weak adductors can result in sometimes back pain or sometimes knee pain. Like oftentimes they are going to play a role in like those different types of pain. And that like almost every client that I have has weak adductors. And so that is something that we focus on. So an example of an exercise for that could be like side lying. So you're lying on your side, you're lifting up one leg, pausing at the top and slowly lowering, or something like clamshells, or for more advanced, Copenhagen planks. Love this exercise. Now, it is very difficult, so if you were if you're newer to training, I would not just jump right into Copenhagen's. Like we would have to do some lower level adductor exercises first and build up to be able to do that. But there's also different variations of Copenhagen's we can scale. So like bent knee Copenhagen's, like one leg straight Copenhagen, single leg Copenhagen's, Copenhagen hip taps, but like really focusing on that inner thigh strength can be so beneficial. And I think a lot of people are missing it. They're missing out on it. So that is what I wanted to cover today. I hope you learned something. And if you did learn something and you're like, oh my gosh, like I think this could be helpful for me. Like I want to learn more. This is exactly the type of stuff I'm going to be talking about in my Return to Running Masterclass on Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, March 12th. It's 7:30 EST. I'm holding it online. You can come live. It's also going to be recorded. And so even if you can't come live, I will be sending out the recording. So the big bonus that is coming with this masterclass is you're going to have the opportunity to get a lower body assessment from me. And how that's going to work is before the masterclass, I'm sending out like a questionnaire like, hey, who wants to do this lower body assessment? And if you want to, after the masterclass, I'm adding you into my programming software temporarily so we can get this assessment done. And I'm going to find out more about you and see what testing is going to be beneficial to give me some insight into what might be going on with your issue. So Once I find that out, I'm going to put in some lower body testing, probably some flexibility, mobility, probably some single leg plyo stuff, anything I think is going to give me some more information into why you're feeling the way that you are. And you're going to upload that into my programming software. I'm going to review it, and I'm going to record a review video of me giving my thoughts of what could potentially be going on for you. If I can, I'm going to suggest exercises for you to start doing, and then there'll be an opportunity if you want to learn more about working with me to really fix this issue instead of just modifying or just kind of maintaining, then there will be opportunity for that too. But this is a huge value because I'm doing this for free, and I usually charge for my assessment. And so, like I said, it's just a lower body assessment, but there is going to be huge value in that because I'm taking the time to review it and give a summary about what next steps could look like for you to solve your issue. So if you are somebody who's like, oh my gosh, I need this, I want you to send me a message on Instagram at Ashley Crocker 127. Send me a DM that says masterclass and give me your email address. I'll put you on the list. You can also send me an email at ashley@embracestrength.co and just say, hey, I want a spot in the running masterclass, and I will put you on the list. I am going to be capping it at 20 people. I have 14 people signed up, so I have 6 more spots. So go ahead, get your spot while it's good. I'm super excited about it. And let me know if you have any questions. Chat soon.